Hello, guys, and welcome back to All for United. Beating West Ham wasn't enough just once, was it? We're going to have to do it again on Wednesday night. We've got a brilliant panel lined up to tell you how we're going to do that, because we are definitely going to go through and talk us through the process of the Carabao Cup and how we're going to take that trophy back off Man City and take it back to us. So stay tuned, get your comments in. It's sure to be a great show. Got a brilliant panel lined up. So we shall see you on the other side of the intro.
Click subscribe to get daily Manchester United content from Passionate Reds, only on All for United.
Oh, nearly had it. There we go. I accidentally double-clicked it there. What am I doing? There we are. Like I said, brilliant panel. Look at this. We've got Mark, Natalie, Callum. How are we all doing?
Good, thank you.
Good, yes. Like I said, hopefully a nice and positive show. We're playing the same team that we played yesterday, and hopefully you guys are going to talk us through how we're going to beat them again. So I think we'll start off then. It's our kind of first domestic game. Obviously, I know we've played one game in the Champions League already. Mark, I'll come to you first on this one then. So quite simply, where does the Carabao Cup list on like a priority list for United this season?
Listen, I don't want to sound like every other United fan and say we should be winning every single game, but on this instance, I do believe that is quite a big thing, and the Carabao Cup is probably one of the relatively easy ones to win. And I think that, this is no disrespect to City, but they've won a fair few of them over the last few seasons, and I feel that this could be something, the first hurdle for Ollie to overcome. So for me, we need to be in it and win everything. And I think that this is going to be one of the easiest ones. It's going to be a tough game on Wednesday, I think, with everything that happened over the weekend. West Ham are going to feel a little bit disheartened and are going to want to sort of rectify and get one back over us. For me, the Carabao is definitely important.
Yeah, can't disagree with that. We'll get into what West Ham will bring a bit later on. But Callum, where does the Carabao Cup sit, for you on the priority list? Is this our best chance at a trophy?
It's a bit of a weird one, really, isn't it? Because I think a lot of fans, especially the big clubs and City, don't really think they care too much for the Carabao Cup. I hate even calling it that. It's the League Cup, isn't it? I get it's a trophy, and of course, I'm sure it would be a good thing to win it if we did. It's sort of hopefully springboard to us to more success. If we win the game, great. But I'd much rather us maybe focus on the league, Champions League, and the FA Cup than. Let's have it right. Out of the four competitions, this is very clearly the least prestigious and the one that we will probably prioritise the least amount. But look, it's a game of football. We're at Man United. We're Man United fans. We want to see the team win. If we can win a trophy, great. But, I think there's probably bigger things to look for in the season. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to cheer the boys on and hope that we win the game and go far in the competition. We've got a good squad. We could use it as a good opportunity for the younger players and for the bit part players. It'd be nice to see, to an extent, it'd be even nice to see Phil Jones get some minutes again. And start seeing some of the bit part players get back into the squad and show that they have the uses.
Yep, can't disagree with that. Natalie, do you kind of share the same thoughts as the other two guys there?
Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of a one now. Phil Jones in the six. Woo! No. Yeah. No, I do want to see some players tried out. I think it's one of these cup competitions where we have a big squad. We should be able to rotate and still get through. I'm sure West Ham will rotate. For me, it's a game where, it's not the trophy where I'm thinking that's the one I want to win, but we need to win a trophy. So, in my opinion, and it's important that we do get, silverware in the cabinet. So if this is the way to get it, and we see with City, they go out, they win it, and then, it gives you that sort of boost. Maybe halfway through the season, you win a trophy, everyone's heads up. And it's a good omen for the league. Usually whoever wins the Carabao Cup goes on and wins the league. So for me, I'd go for it. Like I said, rotate, but still have a fairly strong squad, have a good bench, and I think let's go and win some silverware.
Do you think, just playing slightly devil's advocate, this is open to anyone who wants to answer this, do you think Ollie will prioritise the Carabao Cup because of getting to the final of Europa League last year, because of getting to so many semi-finals? Do you think he's at the point now where he's like, we need to win a trophy, and the addition of Varane and Ronaldo, those players are going to want to win absolutely anything? Do you think that will be a factor in this?
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it that way, but look, we've got to see how the other teams want to take the Carabao Cup as well, because City use it as an opportunity to always win a trophy. So there's no way that in the later rounds City won't start taking it seriously. And the same with Liverpool and Arsenal and Chelsea and all these teams. They start using their big players and taking it seriously as well. It's not an easy competition to win. I think we've just got this mindset that at the minute there's probably going to be a lot of players rested, and the priority for the cup is going to be quite low. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's an easy competition to win. City have won it the last 4 years in a row, so they've clearly taken it quite seriously. So I think it's just a case of, it's the early rounds. I think we just need to see what kind of happens in terms of how the other teams take the competition and how Ollie sees it. I think we'll probably gauge an interest. I don't think we'll see Ronaldo start tomorrow night. There'll definitely be players that we'll probably see Cavani. I think tomorrow we'll see Bailly start. I think I just think we'll use the squad players a lot more tomorrow. I really wouldn't be surprised if even West Ham didn't take it seriously. We see it quite often. The smaller teams do not prioritise cup competitions because their main aim is either Europe or staying in the league. So it's a bit of a weird one, especially the early rounds. I think getting through tomorrow would be a big bonus.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I saw, I think it was Jacob's comment earlier, and we've said this a lot, about Ollie needing a trophy. For me, it's always been under the context is key in that, because we could get very far in the Premier League and the Champions League and not win a trophy, but that's not automatically a failure. And I think this cup, yes, it would be nice to win, in my opinion, but I kind of agree with everything what's been said. It shouldn't be the top priority when we've got aspirations for the Premier League, Champions League, and the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, though, what you said at the start, Connor. I do think he's not going to take it, we have aspirations to win the league. Everyone knows that. But I do think, it'll be a strong bench. Like you say, I can see Cavani starting because obviously he's not played. But, I still think Varane, I think even maybe Maguire might start. I think Varane will be on the bench. Things like that, I think he will, he won't play kids upon kids. He'll play, good squad quality, squad players. I mean, he said Jesse's going to play. I can see Donny playing. So I think, the fact that we haven't won a trophy under Ollie, I do think we need to win a trophy now. And, we all thought it versus Villarreal didn't obviously come off. And I think that pressure is on him. This club is about silverware. So I think Ronaldo, Varane coming in, silverware. And yeah, it's not the Champions League, but it's your first trophy at Man United. Tick that one off. Ollie can tick that one off. It sort of takes that pressure off. Whereas if we sort of don't prioritise it, I'm not saying don't, but just sort of think, oh, we get knocked out, that means nothing. Then it's more pressure on him in the bigger competitions that are even harder to win. So I think what you said at the start about Ollie will be taking it seriously, I think he should. He wants to win silverware. This is what this club's about.
Yeah, and I think we've seen over the last couple of years since Ollie's come in, he does take this competition seriously in his team selection. Then you could argue, obviously, he's not had the team to rotate, and that kind of leads me on nicely to my next point. Mark, I'll come to you on it first. Do we expect to see a fully rotated side tomorrow, or will we see kind of Wednesday, or will we see like 3 or 4 changes and some of the key players still playing, like maybe Maguire and Shaw? I can't see him taken out, but do you expect to see a fully rotated side or just a couple of changes?
Yeah, I think the latter, only a few changes. I had this conversation with someone else the other week, and if you sort of cast your mind back to the Champions League last year, Ollie made a huge amount of changes against Istanbul, and that paid very costly. And I think he will have that in the back of his mind, sort of telling him that he obviously needs to make some rotation, but actually if you change the team too much, it can have a negative impact. And I think that was a big problem in that particular game last season. So with that in mind, I feel that only 3, 4, maybe 5 changes. The better thing about this season is that we've got more squad depth and some real winners that can come on and change that game. So if you are going to make 4, 5, maybe 6 changes, I think that's a bit of a push. Then you need to make sure you've got your players, which obviously will be on the bench, and that's what we have now. So that's what I expect from it, really. I think that you might see players like maybe Jesse. I thought he was so proud of the man. Fair play to him for his goal, absolutely beautiful, and I, he's played very well since coming on in both games. So I think you might see him. He could be a big shout. But yeah, only a couple for me.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I don't know whether Callum, you kind of agree with this as well, but I can't see him making wholesale change. I think a lot of the fan base do want to see a full kind of rotated 11, but what do you think on that one?
I think he'll make quite a few. I don't think he'll make 11. I think we'll see like I said before, I think we'll see the likes of Bailly start if he's fit. Van der Beek will start, Cavani will start. You'll probably be looking at around 5 or 6 changes. I think, if I'm being completely honest, I think the main priority for tomorrow night is to get some of the players that haven't played a lot this season some minutes, get them match fit, especially Cavani. I think you'll probably see Cavani have 90 minutes tomorrow night. My worry is we go to extra time, and that's when we start flapping a bit and bringing on the likes of Bruno and Ronaldo. I think we kind of need to manage it a little bit. And look, we need to remember, people on Twitter especially need to remember, this isn't the end of the world if we do lose tomorrow. I think there's bigger priorities for the season. Of course, we all want to see us win, but let's not overreact if we don't, and let's just maybe get our priorities straight and look at the benefits of the players that haven't started a lot this season to get the minutes so that they can maybe help us more throughout the future of the season. But yeah, I think Mark's probably right. He'll make a couple of changes. I personally think he'll make a few more. But it's early on in this competition. It always tends to happen that. I think there'll be West Ham will do the same. West Ham will probably make 5, 6, 7 changes.
Nat, do you kind of agree with that as well? Then, so do you think? Obviously, we all want to win. Obviously, that's always the priority, no matter what game you play. But do you think the main thing to come out of Wednesday is no injuries to key players and match fitness for players that have not necessarily played a few games this season?
Yeah, 100%. Because the names that we're sort of talking about, Cavani, Bailly, Jesse, yes, has got his little minutes, but obviously he had COVID and then he's come back in. And, I've seen people mentioning Heaton or Henderson, things like that. And I feel like this is what we're going to need these players further down the line as well, because there are going to be times where players get injured. So we are going to need, Jesse on the form, like what he's done, game changer, coming in, changing the game, scoring that goal. And, these players are going to need the games like what Callum says, we lost in Europe. It's not the end of the world. So like this, if we lose, it's not going to be the end of the world. But I just think we are going to go for it. We are going to, try and win. But, Bruno needs a rest. Ronaldo, like we say, he's like, he's not, he doesn't look 36 kind of thing, but, he is. So it's about giving these players the rest that they need and they deserve, but then also bringing in good quality players and having, them on the backup if we need them to come through. But I agree, I don't think West Ham are going to take it seriously. They've got aspirations in Europe. They've got aspirations probably to get there again next year, get even higher up the league. I think their attention will be Europa League and Premier League and doing well in those two competitions. So I just think, there'll be even more changes from them than us, potentially. And they'll be maybe expecting to lose and they won't see it as anything. They'll just sort of be on to the next when they play in the Premier League.
I'll come to each of you on this one just as a quick fire. If you could pick one player to give a rest on Wednesday night, who would you pick? I think for me personally, it would probably be someone like Harry Maguire or Luke Shaw, just because of how many minutes they played for the national team as well, on top of what they played for United. So, Mark, I'll go to you first. Who would you leave out just for those kind of purposes of resting them?
I don't know if I can pick anyone in particular, if I'm honest. I think that there are a number of players I would like to leave out. I think you've hit two of those, Harry and Shaw. I think Bruno. I think we've got a little bit more from an attacking sense in midfield, and you could leave him out. Pogba, would quite like to sort of save him, give him a bit of a rest for the Premier League. Seems to be doing very well there at the moment, and I want to sort of keep that continuing. Ronaldo's another one, but he's not going to want to. How can we treat Bruno like different to Ronaldo? Bruno wanted to play every game last season, even we could see that he was knackered by the end of it. Ronaldo's not going to be any different. So, yeah, I just to go back to the point about team selection, I totally agree with you, Callum. I totally agree in the fact that I would like to see more changes, but I just think that Ollie's going to struggle to do that, knowing that he got a rocket up the arse last year. And with that in mind, I don't think he's going to change too many. But yeah, a whole host really. I think Varane's been pretty solid. You could probably take him out maybe. I'd like to see Bailly start, as Natalie alluded to, and therefore you probably want someone like Lindelof and Maguire next to him. So yeah, it's anyone's guess. But that's a good thing to have. A couple of seasons ago, we were surefire on the 11 every week, and it's a great problem to have, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the thing is, the players that we can replace, I think we could do it just because I think West Ham will do the same thing. I think if West Ham were to play their first 11 like they did on Sunday, we'd probably struggle with the backup players that we bring in. But I think Wan-Bissaka needs a rest. I think his form last week was a little bit iffy. Yeah, he played well on Sunday, but his problems with with disqualifying and his personal problems with that, I think maybe just waved his head a little bit last Tuesday. I think it wouldn't be a bad thing just to give him the rest, give him the night off. Delo's more than capable of filling in for him. I think Shaw will get a rest. I think we'll see Telles. As much as you're probably right, Connor, that Maguire won't. Maguire should get a rest. He won't do. He starts every game at United. I think we've seen that. The only time he's not is when he got injured at the end of last season. So Maguire will start. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Lindelof or Bailly next to him. But I think both fullbacks could do with a rest. With the intensity that we seem to be playing at the minute, with the constantly going forward, with Shaw constantly overlapping and Wan-Bissaka starting to get more involved in that as well. I think the intensity that they've been playing at wouldn't be a bad thing to give them to a rest, I don't think.
Oh, go on.
Telles is back. Well, I saw pictures of Telles back in training, so I would like to see, him maybe given a chance. I don't think we've seen him for a while, so that would be nice. But for me, I think I'd like to see Bruno given a rest. What Mark said about the way he just played until the end, and you see when we needed him in the big game, he was, the final right at the end, he was knackered, bless him. But that's who would be my player I'd give a rest. But it'd be nice to see, like you say, Shaw given a rest, and nice to see Telles back in.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'm just going to bring up this comment from Brendan. Does anyone think... I get what you're saying, Brendan, in terms of never change to win the team, and you want to kind of get momentum in a season. I think I would tend to agree with you if there wasn't an international break in 2 weeks' time, because I think we play this... We've got Villarreal, Everton, and it's another international break, so there's not really that momentum there.
Is it? For fuck's sake.
Does anyone think that we will play a very strong 11 on Wednesday night? Or are we all kind of in agreement that he will make quite a few changes? I
think he'll do like what we were saying, 5 or 6. If you still have like 5 or 6 playing and then change 5 or 6, that's the nucleus still there. So I get where Brendan's coming from, but if you've still got some of the players that are playing, it's sort of not changing. But you know what I mean? We've seen it. We need to get some of these squad players playing and getting up to
exactly.
speed.
We've got, exactly that. We've got to get them playing. We've got to give them some minutes somewhere, and the Carabao Cup is a good opportunity to do that. The thing is, it's all about, never change a winning team. But unfortunately, especially a team like United, the big six want to be in all the competitions. You'd like to think so. And, unfortunately, these players can't play 2-3 games a week every week for 40 weeks. They just can't do it. They do need a rest. That's why you have a squad, and that's why the bigger clubs have bigger squads and better squads. They've got to be used in some way. Look, we will be playing a strong squad tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. Cavani will probably play. Lingard will play. Maguire will play. Heaton or Henderson will play. Telles will play. These are all international footballers. They're not, we're not playing our reserves tomorrow. We're playing highly quality footballers who should still be getting the job done. We should still be, like, don't get me wrong, our backup 11 should still be better than West Ham. And the fact that I think West Ham will do the same thing and rest some players also, our squad is more than capable of winning tomorrow. When do we play? Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday. All right, Wednesday then. You know, it's more than capable of winning. People need to go, don't change a winning team. You've got to rest players, and this is an opportunity to do so. And because of that, it's a great opportunity to even try and get your way into the first team in the league and in the Champions League and things. These are why we have these games. Rest, get all the players match fit, and, you know, if it comes out with a trophy at the end of the season, great. But like I say, there's bigger priorities to have, and this is an added bonus onto them.
I think, you're both absolutely right. Three things for me. We're still in a very difficult climate where there has been more games within a short amount of time. Okay, that's the first thing for me. We can't forget about that. Secondly, I think football has changed over the years. Some people may disagree with me, but I do feel that because it's a entertainment and a business, it's a lot more faster paced. There's a lot more training that goes on, with all dietary requirements and all this sort of thing. And I think because of that, it is more intense, and therefore I think you need to be able to have a bigger squad, as Callum said there. And listen, you can't in one hand say we need strength and depth, and then when you've got that strength and depth, don't use it. Yeah,
I think that's the main point, and that's a beautiful segue, Mark, onto my next point, and a particular player that we talk about quite a lot
on purpose, isn't it?
I know he knows, you see, and particular player we talk about a lot on this channel, I'm sure, amongst the United fan base, and it's all the time. And I think if Ollie doesn't play Donny on Wednesday, there will be an absolute meltdown on social media. So, hang on. Now, I'll come to you first then, because you've just said to us that you're going to have to shoot off in a minute. So, two questions. One, do you think he will start on Wednesday? And two, do you think these are the kind of games where if Donny is going to play any kind of part moving forward, he's going to have to shine in these kind of games, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think it's unfortunate that obviously he got taken off. I mean, I wouldn't have taken him off in that game, but it is what it is. He got taken off because of what happened, of the red card. But, now I do think it's, his time. I think if he starts from the off, maybe making some assists. I think, he needs to accept that probably he's not going to play, the Premier League team. I don't think he's sort of asking. I think he's asking to sort of be given a chance. And I think these are the games, like we've said, these are the games where you need Donny to be playing, so that if anything does come up with any of them, he's ready, he's willing, he's ready to go as soon as the Premier, if anything happened in the Premier League, touch wood, Donny's ready, Donny's up to speed. So, I agree. I think there will be mass meltdown if he doesn't start, but I won't be the ones melting down, but I will be sort of agreeing. I'm expecting to see him play. And if not, I want to, I'm sure he'll get asked why not.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like I said at the start, I think there'll be an absolute meltdown should he not play on Wednesday, because I think there's a selection of the fan base that I think support Donny more than they support United at times. So, sorry, now you want to...
Yeah, I'm going to have to go, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, and I hope, it's a great show, and I'll be in the comments probably. But yeah, thanks a lot. I'll see you all Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks for
that.